dust, dirt that might have accumulated as they've been sitting in storage. If you are going over a piece of furniture that has furniture polish on it, you may want to use a light degreaser and get that off. We also ran over this and got any loose paint that was sitting on the chairs. You don't have to sand this. That's one benefit of using the Annie Sloan paint. So we're going to go ahead. This has already been mixed, but I just want to show you that you will want to mix the paint. And you're going to want to go from the bottom because that's where all the nice color is going to kind of flow down there to the bottom. And then we're going to use a small brush today. We could have used a large brush. This is a number 8 that we're going to use. We could have used a medium, which is the number 12. These are all items that we carry in the store, and you can see them, the prices on Facebook. And the nice thing is right now, during this lovely quarantine, we are delivering these items to you. So we're going to start at the bottom. I apologize if you can't see exactly what I'm painting. I'm going to try to scoot this over a little bit. I'm short, so I'm not going to be able to reach quite as far as what I'd like for you to be able to see. We're going to take it, we're going to spin the brush. We're not going to take the brush and we're not going to kind of drag it along the edge to clear off any drips. We're going to spin it like this, and we're just going to go at it. So I'm going to start in here. And you're going to want to paint every which way when you are covering the old paint, or even if there's no paint on the furniture. So if you go on the website, or excuse me, the Facebook page rather, you're going to see the colors that we have available to you. And right now, actually we always carry all of the colors that Annie Sloan has available, and that is, I think Beth was telling me about 38, somewhere in that range, 38 different colors to choose from. And all the brushes.
So your first question.
And what's the first question?
Do you recommend a particular degreaser?
A particular degreaser? So what did we use for today?
I use
Okay, so crud cutter is what we use today.
we wipe it down with water to chemicals also to after you use it.
So you'll want to wipe it down with water or soapy water before doing that. And again, if you are, if there's a heavy amount of furniture polish, that's when you're going to want to go with that heavier degreaser. So I'm just going to give you, I'm going to spin this over for a second, just so you can kind of see the coverage that we have already. So you're going every which way when you're painting. It's quick. It doesn't take a lot. 1 can of the Annie Sloan paint, chalk paint, is going to give you, I was talking to Beth, if you were to do a hutch and a smaller piece, that's about what you're going to get out of 1 can.
2 chests of drawers.
So like 2 chests of drawers, about that. Now we have 1 chair that we, because we had 2 chairs that we're going to do, but we have 1 chair that we already painted. So once we get this one painted, we're going to be able to show you the steps that you're going to take for when you're done. And sanding it off and then waxing. It does dry pretty quick. Normally we would do 2 coats. So just for this demonstration though, we're going to stick with 1 coat for you guys.
Because you said it was permission. People can have a bit of stress.
Oh, for distressing, yep.
But
So,
have a bit of stress, you will.
And now when I'm taking this and doing the strokes here, as I'm going every which way, it is covering any kind of nooks and crannies that the piece may have acquired over the years. A lot of times when we're doing this, these are older pieces and they have been used. And that really is, it's kind of guaranteeing that I'm getting that full coverage. So I'm going to spin the chair just a little bit more so I can reach this other side. And then once I'm done with that, I'll spin it back and you can see the progress that we made.
And the round brush makes the painting spindles easier because it wraps around them. It's not like trying to paint with a scrap brush.
And it does make a difference.
And chalk paint, you will see a lot of brush strokes. It's not like latex paint. It doesn't flatten as you go. So, but by having all the brush strokes, it allows you to wrap in those little nooks and crannies and create a tougher finish.
Oh, nice.
Like a harder surface. And these chairs will go back out on the front porch, so there's no problem putting them outside on a covered area.
And the benefits of having the wax, and I mean, you can wipe it down, you can clean it.
And protects the paint. The paint is very porous and you'll watermark very easily.
Okay.
But once it's waxed, it's like a piece of furniture. You don't want that water lay on it, but it will repel water.
And this is what, the 30th anniversary of the Annie Sloan paint? Yep. So for 30 years, she's been making this paint, and obviously it's been perfected throughout the time, because this goes on so nicely, very easily, and the coverage is amazing. And I think what surprises me is that we're dealing with a red undercoat and it covers it so easily on just even one coat.
And when you put the paint on, you don't want to overwork it. You want put the paint on, make sure it's even, and then leave it alone. If you move it around too much, it won't stick. It'll start to pull back off.
Okay.
So we say lay it and leave it.
Lay it and leave it, okay. Should have taken that offer for the step stool. It's okay. When you're short, you get used to having to deal with this.
Look,
You make it do.
I think it's better to be short than tall. You hit your head on everything.
See, I don't have that problem.
No, I hit on everything. Shame you can't put music on.
I know.
Facebook will
Facebook.
cut the screen.
It'll flag it. I do love the ease of this process. I think, you know, I first started painting with Beth last summer. She about this time last year, yep. And she taught me. I went in there to Russ, and we sat there, and we ended up doing quite a few pieces together. But before that, I really was intimidated at the process. I had watched her, you know, I had been inside the store, I had watched her do it, but to me, I thought it was a lot more to it. And not that it's not, because I don't want to discredit that, but this paint really makes it a lot more simple. I pictured having to sand every piece down to the bare bones, and, you know, and when you're dealing with a chair, especially a chair with spindles, that can be really tedious, so. But I have to say, I've watched a few videos here and there, and I do think that the anti-sealant paint is what makes it. I think it's a big asset. And
I've used them all, and keep coming back.
yeah. And you've had the pleasure of working with Miss Sloan a few times, haven't you?
Same twice.
Twice. That's incredible.
And we Facebook chat every once in a while, and
Really? That's so cool. So I'm only taking a little bit on the brush at a time because I'm doing a smaller area.
but
Yeah.
the natural bristle brushes that we're using hold the paint.
Which is really nice.
They hold a lot of paint, and that helps get it on thick. You can't put the paint on too thick. Now, if you're painting something with a glossy finish, it usually won't take the paint stick. I put a thin coat on first,
Okay.
and then the second coat, it goes. Oh, the second coat goes on a lot better. Sorry. I can't do that in hot.
I know.
And these brushes are natural voice bristle.
Okay.
So when you clean, I just clean them with a gallon of water, hot water. But then I put hair conditioner on them to keep them soft.
Really? Now, and you leave the hair conditioner in?
No, just
Or you rinse it
go
off?
ahead, rinse it
Okay.
off, but it helps keep your brush soft. It doesn't get brittle.
That's great. So then you can use these multiple times
Yeah,
over and
put it on
over.
today.
Okay. The rest of that I can get once we flip the chair up. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this so I can do the front, or still the back, but.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we got it.
Oh, okay, hold on, we'll get there.
The steering is
Where do you want it?
Well, we should probably let that dry a little more. If you wanna just flip it this way, I can reach the back of it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's it.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you. Yep. Reach that.
If you notice, she's holding the brush very loosely, and that way you don't get hand cramps. You're painting with your wrist, not your hand.
That's one thing I know about work. There's a lot of hand cramps. But not with this. Now, are there smaller brushes than the 8?
No. We
So this
do
one.
have the flat synthetic brushes,
Mm-hmm.
but they're for a smoother finish.
Okay, so the flat
I
synthetic is
use
gonna
those
smoother.
mostly on mid-century modern pieces,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
not so much on the farmhouse and the more rustic pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't hold the paint, so it takes longer to paint a piece of those.
And you're able to
Oh,
still.
we also have detail brushes,
Okay.
which are like artist brushes that we have a set of those that come forward
Okay.
in a box. And I do use those a lot to get in the little grooves of things,
Yeah.
but also to decorate paint.
Now you have a few pieces you've been working on
during the
quarantine and the isolation.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still doing that at home safely,
Away
from customers.
Okay, so you're at
Okay, so you're at the shop, but it is
I'm
closed.
also painting my garage. I'm actually doing 2 different custom jobs, and both are pretty big. So
That's great.
one's a bedroom set, and one's a dining room set.
So if someone was intimidated to try this on their own, you would still be able to work with them and do the piece that they're.
Right. I would
So
pick
if
it up
someone was
and do-
intimidated
Okay.
to try this on their own, you would still be able to work with them and do the piece that they're.
Right. I would pick it up and do it.
Okay. And then one jar or 1 can of the paint is $36.95 right now.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And you have
One
over
jar,
38 colors, or around 38
mhm.
colors,
One can
plus
of
the
paint
wax.
is
You said there's 4 different colors
$36.95 right now.
of wax.
Okay, and you have over.
So really, everything you need
around 38
to be able
colors,
to do
plus the wax,
personalize
and so there's 4
your
different
own
colors
piece that you have at
of
home,
wax.
you would be able to safely
So really, everything you
contactless
need
deliver
to be able
to
to
them.
personalize
Okay.
your own
That's
piece
great.
that you have at home, you would be able to safely contactless deliver to them.
You don't realize how many sides a chair or a piece of furniture has until you start painting it.
That's your chair.
You
But
don't
again,
realize how
I
many
can't
sides
stress
a
enough
chair or
how
piece of
great it
furniture
is
has
that
until you
there
start
are
painting
new
it.
pieces that we have to take off to do this. That we, everything we need to
But again,
do
I can't stress enough
for the
how
chair
great
can be
it is
done
that
with the
pieces that
brush
we have to
and
take off to
intact.
do this, that everything we need to do for the chair can be done with the brush and intact.
And it takes about an hour for each coat to dry.
Okay, so an hour.
So the piece is designed to put two coats of paint on it, brush it and wax it, and by evening have a vacuum spot in your room.
So it's just one day process, not waiting.
Right.
And I know there in the past, before I realized,
So it's just
before
one
before
day process,
I was
not
introduced to
waiting.
anti-slime paint, I
But
know
there
that
in
there's
the
some.
past, before I realized,
I don't want to, there were
Before-
some
actually
videos I
before
watched where it
I was
literally took
introduced
the
to
woman
anti-slime
like 4
paint, I
days
know
to be
that
able to
there's-
get everything to completely dry, and then she had to wait before she could
Yeah.
distress it, and.
The wax will take 2 weeks to cure.
Okay, so 2 weeks
The
of curing.
The colored waxes take a little bit longer because you just added the adjuvant.
Okay.
Clear wax, you can, it cures in about 2 weeks.
But once it's cured, that's it, and you can clean it, you can.
Right. And wipe it off with a damp cloth. We use any chemicals, no furniture polish, but
I know I have one of your pieces at home that we did last summer, and for me, I just wipe it off, and it still looks exactly, and that's through moving. It's moved with me. I left the store, and then I moved, and the nice thing is it really lasts up. I have the 2 dogs at home. I have a kid, and it still looks as if we just painted it.
and it also with chalk paint, if it does get chipped or damaged, you can either take sandpaper and just blend it in with the distressing and put it, re-wax that part, or you can touch it up and then and re-wax it. And if I touch up, I lightly sand it with a fine grit sandpaper.
Mm-hmm.
Use the touch-up paint and then sand it again and then wax it. And after 2 weeks when it's cured, you can't tell. I'm
See-
moving furniture around, I have to do a lot of touch-up.
Okay, yep. And that makes, I just remember in the past, if we had a piece of natural furniture, it was a big deal if it was damaged. There wasn't an easy fix. So you also sell a smaller version or smaller can?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a sample pack.
a sample.
And that will paint a small nightstand.
So even the sample pack would paint a small nightstand.
Yep.
That's quite a
Your
bit.
daughter's watching.
And I know from experience that it does wash out of hair very easily, so I'm not too worried here.
And if you get on your toes and you put some soap and strong dish detergent on it, rub it into the pink spot, it comes
right
wash.
out. There you go. Which I'm pretty sure. Oh no, I forgot I'm wearing the smock, so we're okay. So we'll have to move it again. Well, I can probably reach right down here.
That was my,
Oh, yeah.
that's right down there a little
Yep.
bit.
I might have to wait until we flip it up.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, I can do that. I can do that. Get that when we flip it up. Let me get that on here. And I can get the front side when we flip that up.
It's dry on this side. Flip it this way.
Okay. You can go ahead and flip it one more time. There we go. Yeah, you have to get creative when you're short. You have to. It's good. See, I can get the bottom pieces, and you can get those top pieces for me.
I tried to lay on the floor to go inside like a high top where I have
Yeah.
to sit down.
I think I did that last year. I was like literally laying on the floor, reaching up over my head.
Turn your head to see if you
Yeah.
got all the parts there.
But when you finish and you see how beautiful it is, I don't know. I guess just being able to bring something and giving a new life to an old piece of furniture to me is pretty special. It was very therapeutic. We were talking about that before we went live on how therapeutic it is to really sit here and to bring new life to these pieces. You know, you don't have to go out, you don't have to buy a brand new piece of furniture if you already have something. And if you see something that you like and you don't want to get rid of it and give it new life, you can. I think I got the spindles. Did you want to get that? It is drying very fast.
You can see what's right.
Mm-hmm.
Get the expert in here painting. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like every time I look back, there's like another spot I see. But
On this piece, because we're going to sand
There's a
it,
giant red spot on the back.
so the red comes through when we're finished.
yeah,
We don't have to waste a lot of paint to cover every tiny,
little spot.
Spot.
Yeah.
which is a nice thing about this dressing.
And I like the red and the graphite together.
Mhm.
What do you clean your brushes with, and how many uses do you get out of them?
Brushes? Oh, brushes will last, as long as you take care of your brushes, they'll last a long time.
What do you clean them with?
I clean my brushes with Dawn dish detergent and warm water. And then when I'm finished, I treat them with hair conditioner. And I rinse out the hair conditioner and then I hang them to dry the bristles down.
Why bristles down?
Otherwise, you'll get a rust ring around the band.
Oh, okay. So it's
It
keeping
do-
the water from
It
going.
doesn't hurt anything, but that doesn't look as nice.
Do you have to wait for the brushes to completely dry
No.
in between? No.
Nope.
Okay.
You can paint with, I usually squeeze as much water out as I can
Okay.
with a paper towel, but you know. Like, I have even forgotten about brushes and the paint dried on the brush and I just rub down into the bristles and soak them in warm water and they cleaned up perfect.
So even if it's dried on,
Yeah,
it's
so
still gonna.
So I didn't, you know, some paint brushes it's harder to get the paint out of.
Mm-hmm.
But this paint comes out very easily.
All right. There's a few spots that I can't really reach with the brush, but we're gonna be
Okay.
distressing it anyway. So
Mhm.
Did you bring a small brush?
Hmm?
Did you bring a small brush?
No, I
You just
brought,
brought that one?
that is just small, that's just small,
No, I meant like one of the little
The
painting
detail.
brushes, the
yeah,
detail
no
brushes.
brush, no.
Which isn't a big deal because again, we're distressing it. We're gonna be sanding off down to where it's red anyway. So for this piece, yeah, I think we missed some down back on the
Mhm.
back here. Can't see exactly. There we go, under the arms.
Yeah, I'm back here, yeah.
Forgot I had that. I'm gonna do another one.
I have some other stuff.
You got the belt sander, we can use that. I feel like I should do like the Tim the Tool Man and get like the angle grinder out and sand it.
This side.
Who's in
Yeah, I
the
think it's, we need to, oh. I'm taking it from you.
I think I can. Be,
Need help?
I mean, this is already, I mean, it's a little tacky, but for the most part, this part's already
I mean,
dry.
I got
Well,
my belt.
I like to wear it because if I'm not wearing my work, then clearly I haven't been working.
okay. I think that's good.
All right. We just have underneath this arm right here.
Oh, this
Do we need to do this side still, the side that's down? Did we do that side?
Mm-hmm. Kevin
that's
said
fine.
it was dry.
Okay.
And because it's a natural bristle brush, it gets into your grooves pretty easily.
Okay, so that makes a difference between the
Yeah.
synthetic and the
Uh-huh.
natural bristle. Okay.
Right. It kind of squishes in a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, awesome. So now that we've done one coat on this chair, we're gonna stop here. We're gonna take a little break because we're gonna switch out chairs. We have the one that we painted earlier, and we're gonna show you how to finish distressing it and put the wax on. Can you see me? Yeah. Okay, we'll switch.
Is that
Okay, we're back. So it took us a minute to get the chair in position. We also had a few spots on the chair that hadn't dried completely. So what we did is we used a heat gun. We didn't put it right on there, but we just put just a few spots to dry that up.
with the hair dryer?
You can use a hair dryer, and really, I mean, you can watch it drying just really, really fast. Took maybe 30 seconds on the spot. So now what we have is Beth is distressing it. So she's using an Annie Sloan sandpaper. It is the coarsest grit that we have. Again, this is something that you're going to be able to get from the store.
It comes in a 3-pack. It's really good.
Okay, so it comes in a 3-pack. And she's just lightly going over the different
I'm
areas.
actually using my finger
Okay, so and using your finger for the technique.
to guide it. Because that way, I'm not overstanding.
And so you're just using a small piece of the block for each.
Right.
Okay, so you want to guide it.
You can cut these into small pieces.
All
And I
right.
have some back at the shop that cut up into small pieces. And but then I just wash them and let them dry.
So okay, so that you can
So
wash it and let
reusable.
it dry in between uses. So you're not just getting one use out of that area of the sandpaper, but you can use it multiple times. And they do come in a 3-pack. Now, there's some areas, now when you're doing this, are there certain areas that you're going down a little bit deeper, or are you just going down to the red?
On this I run down to the wood.
Okay,
You won't be able to see how deep I went until after the wax it.
okay, so it is going to take until waxing to
So
see how
right
deep.
now it just looks very dusty.
Now, when you're doing the distressing, are you hitting areas that would naturally be distressed with use and with age?
Yes and no. Because it has so many rounded edges,
Uh-huh.
it's not, I mean, just up here on the edges.
Mm-hmm.
But if you distress it or increase the furniture where you have like an edge,
Mm-hmm.
it keeps the paint from chipping.
Okay.
Not just gonna chip easily, but it can help.
To keep that.
Keep
So
it.
edges, so that that makes sense. It is going to chip easier on those
because
edges.
it gets bumped
Yeah.
on those edges.
Yep.
And that's why I like them distressed, because if it gets bumped, you can't tell.
There's a science to this.
And it looks like, I tried to distress so it looks like natural wear.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What are your most popular colors that people tend to buy from the store?
The neutrals, the off-white,
Okay.
it's old white, original, which is, there's pure white, which is a real bright white.
Okay.
There's old white, which is a bright white, but not quite as bright as pure. There's original, which is a true off-white.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like a French linen, which is very popular. This is graphite.
I think we used a lot of French linen last year when we were doing, okay.
I sell a lot of French linen.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably sell a lot of original.
Mm-hmm.
The light grays, the Paris gray, the Chicago gray. Mostly neutrals.
Neutrals. Now, what's your favorite color to work with?
Actually, one of my favorites for summertime is called Tilton.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a sunshine yellow.
Ooh.
What is it?
Tilton.
Tilton?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Which is a sunshine yellow. You get ready to do my sewing cabinet at home.
Ooh.
I do a lot in black. I sell a lot of black paint
Mm-hmm.
and Oxford Navy.
Really? Okay, the Oxford Navy.
I think it was just got that this past fall. That's been very popular.
Now, do you a lot of times if you're doing, say, an end table, will you mix the colors where you do the top one color and the base another, or do you like to stick with one color when you're
Oh, I
working?
mix them.
Okay.
But I also like to do the natural wood top,
Mm-hmm.
where I sand it down,
Yep.
stain it, and do two tone that way.
And that's another good idea for even dining room tables.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm doing nightstand for a customer right now. It's pure white over Paris gray,
Ooh.
and the top of the nightstand was Paris gray, and I dry brushed it with white.
Ooh.
And so now I have to put dark wax in to give it a wood-grain look.
And you'll put a picture up on the Facebook page when you're done with that?
I will.
Okay. So once you've finished sanding it down, will you take a light cloth and just dust it off?
Yeah.
So you don't have to blow it off, you don't have to re-clean it or anything before you
Sometimes
seal it?
Sometimes I'll take a dry paintbrush and just,
Okay, so a dry paintbrush, kind of like the hairdressers will do when they're getting the hair off the back of your neck. Okay, all right, that makes sense. Do you want to flip it to go towards the back? Or spin it?
I got yarn on something.
See, that's where the short people have to make up for it. We have to flip it.
At
spin
least you
it.
don't hit your head. All the beams in my basement have pipe foam insulation on it.
Oh, yeah.
Just from hitting your head.
I banged my head down here a couple times.
I'm so sure.
All this used to be down there.
Okay, and that I could see why you would have moved it out to a different shed. So that's it. Today we aren't in the store. We are inside of a workshop, I guess, which Scott was nice enough to let us use to be able to do this. I was gonna say
We don't have internet to store either, so.
there you go.
Okay.
Limited internet. I know all about that.
Well,
You know, I'm not going to say what my job is, but you know that I am able to stand up in the vehicles at my job when I think I'm the only person that can stand up inside the vehicle. So I can walk through the vehicle where everyone else has to get out and walk around. So being short does have its benefits at times.
almost done.
So really, less than 5 minutes, you're able to distress the piece. You're just going over it real quickly. You're hitting anything that would have an edge on it so that the edge is not going to chip after use.
Yep.
So quick.
Okay, so now, lay it down.
Lay it down, okay.
Need help?
There we go, now we're done.
This is wet right here. So
Well,
Just hold on, hold it.
there we go. Okay.
And this is why we only put one coat of paint on, because I am taking a good bit of paint off. Don't get remember that yellow piece we did last year?
Yes, yes.
I took almost all the paint off of that.
Just to have that come through underneath.
And very primitive.
Yep.
First piece I sold, I guess so.
See, I love the yellow. It reminds me of kind of like a French provincial type. Yellows, blues. I don't know if I'm kidding. I like them all. Sometimes I sit at the store when I'm helping you out and I just look at all the different colors that you have. There really is. There's a lot of them. And it's not just the colors, but the shades that are within the different colors.
And mixing them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can really, you
And
can
I
have
do
a lot.
custom mixed colors, so if you have something you match, I've had people bring pillows and fabric, and I match paint to that.
Okay, so that's really good. That's actually,
Yep.
I mean, when you're working in a bedroom or a bathroom or even your living room, being able to custom match the colors.
Mm-hmm.
So, Scott, can you bring the camera over so that we can kind of get a close-up a little bit before we actually clean it off? I want to show what we have here because there's a few spots that you can see, especially on the edges. That way we can understand that you're going to hit the edges so that the edges aren't going to chip later. And then we'll dust it off and we'll start the waxing process.
Yeah, the shoes are gonna be the perfect.
So you can see, let me see, right here on the edge, she brought it down a little bit more. Sorry if that's not focusing. And then in the center, here's just an idea of where we got down. We're gonna have the color that's gonna come through.
Actually, let me just dust it off, and then I'll put the wax
There we
on,
go.
and you can really see how it comes through.
And again, we didn't bother with the bottom here. Let me see. Here we go. And this is what she's already dusted off. So with the sanding, you can kind of see where we brought that color, the original color through. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to use the Anstone wax brush.
Okay. Now, is there only one size for the wax
No,
brush?
there's two sizes.
Three sizes. Okay.
Two.
Oh, two. I'm
This
sorry,
is
two.
small.
Okay.
I don't use a large one.
Okay. So we are using a
Wait,
small
wait.
wax brush.
And when you close up camera, so you can see it.
Oh, that. Okay. Yes, that's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
So let me grab. Let me get the camera again so you guys can see. Okay. So you're gonna walk with me over here. Just this is the beginning of the process. Oh, is that your? Oh yeah. Okay. Am I on?
Yep.
Okay, so you can see, this is where she put the wax on to begin with. Look at the difference.
It's raining, you may have to talk louder.
Okay, so I was just informed that because it's raining, I need to talk louder. So if you can hear me at home, just let me know. If not, I'll bring it up a few more decibels because I can talk loud. So let's watch her up close. She's putting the wax on. And again, once the wax is cured, which is going to be about 2 weeks, maybe a little longer for the darker waxes, you're going to be able to just use a damp cloth to wash this or to wipe them down, clean them. It's going to be a protectant for the piece. And I know this because I have the furniture at home. I'm talking louder.
I mean, it's because it's an aluminum roof.
Yes.
I can't.
We are outside and it is raining.
We're not outside.
I mean, we're in a shed with an aluminum roof and it's raining. So you're going to see that, okay, so when she's putting the wax on, you're going to have a little bit of the wax build up as she's going. So here she's taking a clean cloth. Doesn't matter what type of cloth you're using.
This is the old sheet.
Okay, an old sheet. So just cut up an old sheet.
And
then,
like something lint free.
okay, lint free. So we want to make sure it's lint free, and that makes sense. We don't want the lint getting down in there.
Like you ain't got color.
And then she's just wiping that. Looks like you're using maybe light to medium pressure. It doesn't look like you're
Yeah, you don't have to
using
use it out.
not a lot of pressure.
Now after 24 hours, you can go back and buff it.
Okay, so after 24 hours, you can go back and buff it.
And get it clean.
You can really see that color that has come through. That's beautiful.
I just put noise suppression on, so it should be better, but
And like this one, I don't know if you can tell, it's just part where it looks like the wax is been using. It's not. As it cures, it will even out.
Okay, so as it cures, it will even out.
If for some reason it doesn't, you can always apply a little bit more wax.
Okay. So then you can always apply more. Now, is there a certain temperature or humidity that it's more beneficial when you're applying the wax? Does it matter?
You don't want it real cold.
Okay, so not really cold, and that makes sense. It just says the same if you were painting, you know, a room. So she's just using her finger to kind of guide it into the smaller areas. And then she'll wipe it down when that's done. And then just gonna go back to the brush for the larger.
And you wave every which way as your wave gets the wax down in those brush strokes.
Okay, so the same way as if when we were painting, you want to take that brush and you want to go in every direction, every which way, and getting it down in there.
If it were a large piece, I would go in a circular motion.
Okay, so circular.
But I think it's out like that, and
Uh-huh.
we're going to get it in there. It's not going to work well because we have flat.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I can see now that you're putting the wax on, it really brings out the undertones when you sand it out.
I prefer to sand before I wax because it's messier, but the paint comes off a lot easier. The sand after you wax, it ends up with gummy sandpaper.
And I imagine then you're not going to get the lifespan out of that piece of sandpaper that you would get if you were doing it before the wax.
Right, but if you're using, it just takes more sandpaper, it washes out with hot soapy water, so you're fine, but if you use regular sandpaper, which I typically use a medium grit, which I think, I forget what 120, I forget. But that's, if I'm using regular sandpaper, it's just because there's so much sandpaper if you sand after your wax. If you only want small areas to scratch, some people feel more comfortable doing it after it's waxed. It doesn't take as much paint.
Give it back to Scott here.
And your wax brush is not a necessary tool.
Okay.
It's a nice to have. They're expensive. This one's $42.
$42 for the, okay.
If you're only ever going to do one piece, you put wax on with a rag.
Okay, so that
If you're
way,
going to do your kitchen cabinets, you have to have a wax brush. Your hands will be so tired when you're done. But most of my newer customers now are buying the wax brushes because once they start painting furniture, they'll stop.
it is a little addictive.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And now, as far as the wax cans go, how many pieces? Is it about equivalent to what now?
Can't wax goes a lot further.
Okay, so the wax goes a lot further than the paint.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, earlier we were talking about using a darker wax, and you said you want to use a clear wax even underneath
Yeah.
a darker wax.
Okay, the dark wax, we have black, brown, and white, and it will stain your paint.
Okay, so it'll stain the paint, so always use a clear wax first. How long in between putting the clear wax and the darker wax would you say that we have to wait?
Good time.
No time. So, okay, so you could do it right after once you've
Right.
left it off. Okay.
If I were going to put white wax in it,
Mm-hmm.
I could do it right now.
Okay.
Don't have any with
So you
me,
don't have to
but-
wait. It's not like you have to wait 2 weeks for it to cure or 48 hours.
But the colored waxes, as I said, take longer to cure.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Because there's paint, I can take the clear wax and mix chocolate with it and make any color wax I want.
Really?
I can make blue wax, I can make red wax, I can...
Really? So if you were to do, like, let's say we're going to use, and we're going to go with that nice bright yellow, if you wanted to put a blue, you could do blue, mix the blue, like the navy and then the clear wax, and you could actually use that?
Mm-hmm. And actually what I've done is a big piece is that you put a whole lot of wax on, and then you take paint and put regular furniture in that wax, and you move the wax brush around, and then, or you can take a paper plate and mix it, but either way.
This is a really versatile line of products that Andy Sloan has created here.
And I didn't know about mixing paint and wax until I took my first class with Annie, and she did it.
Really?
And so I met her in Georgia. She does a lot. She has a partnership with Country Living,
Uh-huh.
and she does a lot of fairs.
So then you
She
can...
does book signings and demonstrations at the Country Living Fest fairs
Mm-hmm.
in the summer. And that's usually where I meet up with her. I met her last year in New York, the year before that in Atlanta.
So Annie Sloan and her line of products is what Country Living is going to recommend using
Yeah, good partner.
through a partnership with her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the paint itself is real HGTV. I watch them paint the sidewalk
Really?
and stencil it. And when you do it out like concrete, you don't have to wax it. You set your heat and your sun and do it.
So you could actually do like your driveway,
I'm doing
or
some course, I haven't done it yet, but
that would be so beautiful.
I'm going to do it old violet, which is the purple and gray.
Somebody did a floor.
What?
Didn't somebody do a floor?
Yeah, in both my stores I have. In both of my
Yeah,
stores.
you had a customer that did a floor though, didn't you?
Oh yeah, a tile floor. He did a ceramic tile floor.
Ceramic tile floor with this. Okay.
But that you have to put the lacquer over it.
Okay, so you still have to put a lacquer over it to protect it.
And we sell the lacquer. And I lacquer is for indoor or outdoor use.
Okay.
I only like the lacquer on floors. I don't like it on furniture. But some people do.
I would have never guessed that you could do it on concrete though.
You can paint metal, glass, concrete, plastic. You name it.
I don't know. I did the lacquer on my bathroom vanity.
Yeah, you can. I mean, it doesn't hurt anything, but
So if I had a plastic or like a vinyl, or not vinyl, but I guess plastic TV stand or something, just something cheaper that was in the kids' room.
Uh-huh.
I could paint that, and it would still stick.
Now that, like the old, the expensive piece of furniture was like that from my house.
Uh-huh.
I paint that all the time. You just have to do first coat and top has to be very thin.
Okay.
After that, it's
So Formica can be painted. That's incredible. You could really get creative with just using the paint.
and the paint
No,
is
the brain is killing me.
the paint is choices.
Okay.
I just another stockist I know just painted her crib or something. And it's safe.
So that's important to know that the paint is safe.
And it's food safe too. It's toy safe and it's
Toy safe and food safe. Definitely seems like
And all the paint is low VOC.
low VOC
And environmental.
product. I mean, we
And
really
environmentally friendly.
environmentally friendly. Yeah. This is really that is beautiful.
So we have this way.
Turn it.
So we get this outside. It's okay. Right here.
Can you get right there? You can get a little more if you'd like.
I got to uncomb. Oh, and clean the backsplash the same way as your paintbrush.
Okay, so you can use the Dawn
Hot soapy water.
hot soapy water
air conditioner.
and here. Okay, and then hanging it upside down.
No, you don't
Or-
hang.
You don't hang them.
I
Okay.
use that way now,
Okay.
but the paintbrushes have a hole
Mhm.
so you can hang them.
Okay.
Need to flip it?
Do you want to sit it up, and that way they can see how it looks from the front?
Yeah, we
Which
can,
side is it?
yeah, let's go back up.
You want to set it up tall?
Yeah, I can work on that better. Then I can see,
There we go.
actually, I can do this right here. Do this real quick.
And one thing I like is that there's not a high odor to these
No.
products at all.
And next to that, the wax has a little bit of an odor,
But it reminds me of
but it's actually been improved. It's more environmentally safe now.
okay. And if anything, it reminds me of just like a wax leather, like a wax for leather.
Mm-hmm.
The paint, I don't smell it. There's no fumes.
And actually, the wax will smell for a minute or two, and then it goes away.
So it's not going to linger on there.
Right.
And so again, the wax brush, that's a natural bristle as well.
Yep. That's it.
I noticed that it does go into those smaller areas very easily.
I think they're all horsehair.
Horsehair?
Are they
Boar.
horse?
B-O-A-R.
Boar hair.
Oh, they're boar hair. Okay.
Okay, neat. You learn something new every day.
Yes. I didn't know boars had enough hair.
That's what I was thinking. But that's very neat. This looks so great. I love the red coming through. Little spots where, especially on the edges where it's been sanded down a little bit more, where it's not going to chip over time.
And every once in a while, brushes will shed. Because but then, and if you miss picking out your paint, a little bit of sandpaper lightly picks it right up.
Okay, so if you do notice that your brush is shedding, which will happen every now and then, if you aren't able to pick it out, you can go back through, and when you sand it, that should take the piece out for you.
And you can even tell it was there.
Okay. And that's one nice thing about this method, is that little imperfections don't seem like imperfections that were not meant to be there to begin with, or were not there naturally over time. So. So you're doing deliveries throughout Carroll County and into Frederick County?
All over Frederick County.
All over Frederick County, okay.
Yep.
And they're able to pay online?
Yep, I will email them the invoice
Okay.
with a payment link to Square, and then they just pay it, and as soon as it's paid, I can deliver it.
That's great.
And that way it's contactless.
Can you repeat that?
So once she'll send an invoice through email. Once you get the email, you can pay through Square. And once that is paid for, immediately or as soon as she can, that product is going to be delivered with a contactless delivery.
Yeah, everything that was paid today will be delivered tomorrow.
Okay, so pay today and delivered tomorrow.
Sometimes the same day. It just depends if I'm going to be in that area.
Okay. The color is so deep and so rich, it looks really good.
Be done soon.
safer to not look at it.
Yeah.
Saran wrap is rational.
Yes, I think you're going for brushes. How long have you been using the Annie Sloan products?
4 years.
4 years?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I've been selling it for about 18 months.
18 months to sell. Okay, so you've been selling for 18 months. That's great.
Actually, no, longer than like 2 years, over 2 years.
So over 2 years, okay.
Right before I got sick, I started doing that. In December was my 2-year anniversary, so.
All right, this looks great. This is looking really, really good. Actually, can I get the camera one more time so I can do some close-ups? Because now that we have the wax on the arms and the legs, you can really see the color coming through. All right. So you can see right here where she sanded down, and the color, let's see, you can see the difference. This is where we have not waxed yet, and then where we have waxed. So as she was saying earlier, the wax is going to bring out those colors as well as the area that we sanded down. You need a rag. Now, if there's an area like the front of the seat where it's going to come in contact with people, get a little more usage over time, do you want to apply more wax, or is it just an even amount of wax throughout? I mean, does it make a difference?
You can.
Okay.
I mean, you can tell if it needs more wax.
Okay.
How do you tell?
That's a good question. How do you tell? Because not everyone may know.
It'll actually lose its finish.
Okay, so it'll lose its finish.
Yeah.
There we go.
If you get an old piece of furniture with varnish and you varnish spreads off, you can tell.
Okay, that's true. Yes, you can see if varnish is worn off. So it's the same thing. If it loses its finish, then it's going to need.
Yeah, you'll be able to. It'll look like it's wearing off.
And if that happens, say you've had the piece for several years, and you notice that the finish is coming up, can you just grab that wax right back out and put it on?
Yep.
All right.
And if you're doing something that's a light color
Mm-hmm.
and it's marked up fingerprint, handprint, a little bit of wax or rag can be right off.
Really? Okay. So that's good for especially as parents.
And the more wax will hurt the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would either put the wax on
Good.
You can see a bee up and that's what I'm wiping off.
Mm-hmm.
It will only take the wax it moist and it will give you the rest of it back.
Okay.
I'm jealous. It's warmer over there.
It is very nice. We have a little fire going back here. It's very warm.
Most pieces of furniture I only do one type of wax.
Okay, so she was saying that furniture is only cover of wax or one coat of wax.
Kitchen cabinets I recommend too.
Okay, so kitchen cabinets, 2
Because they're
coats.
high usage. And, I mean, if you're doing a tabletop that gets high usage,
Mm-hmm.
you might want to put 2 on that.
Okay.
I have a friend who her grandkids come over and they mess up with their crayons and markers. They'll mess up her tabletop.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets the paint out, repaint it, relaxes it, and moves on. So it's always now.
Very smart.
If she can't get the seam of wax, she repaints it. And if the piece is painted and waxed,
Mm-hmm.
and the wax is cured, and you hate the color,
Mm-hmm.
paint right over it.
Just paint over it again. And
If the
then...
wax isn't cured, you need to wash it with mineral fluid.
Okay, so if there's a color that you do and you wax it and you don't care for it, if it is cured, you can paint over it. If it has not cured yet, you're going to use mineral spirits, and that's going to take that
And just wash it
that
out.
and wash it off. Okay, that'll take it later.
It'll take some of the oil out of the
But basically, it's not like you have to go out and you have to sand the entire thing down to get rid of the color you may not like. You can just kind of correct your mistakes either by painting over, or again, if it's not cured yet, then using the mineral spirits, washing it off, or taking that coat off. Okay. Just work smarter, not harder. That's what these products seem to do. Really. This looks great. This looks absolutely fantastic.
And if the paint you pick is too bright, you can always buy a colored wax and turn it down.
Okay.
You can use white wax for a beach look.
Mm-hmm.
You can, or a Scandinavian look. You can use black,
Mm-hmm.
or you can use the brown, depending on the color
Okay.
of the paint.
Yep.
Like if I use olive paint, I will use brown wax.
Okay. Yep.
If I use a gray paint, I will probably use black instead of brown.
So with the navy, would you do black or brown, or is that can kind of go both ways?
Maybe I probably only do white one.
White.
The
Okay.
the navy we have is so dark.
Okay.
People think it's black.
Okay. So you don't want to necessarily.
I haven't tried it with white, but the only color I would consider is white.
Okay.
Um,
And if you have any questions on what colors to use, Beth is going to be able to
now,
advise you and help you
before
with that.
Amy came out this fall with black paint,
Mhm.
we used to take the graphite and put black wax on it to make black.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay. So this is just the black has just come out since fall,
Right.
and prior to that, you were mixing it.
And yeah, prior to the fall, I was making navy. Always blue and graphite to make a navy.
Oh wow. This looks so good. All right,
That's
so
it.
we'll go ahead and turn it around and give you a look at, actually, you know what? Let's bring the camera over here. That way we can kind of do a 360 view, and you can see how the wax brought out the color, both the graphite that we put on, as well as the original color underneath. And let's step back here. You can see it's all coated in the wax now. This is going to take 2 weeks to cure. We're going to keep this, it can be outside on a covered porch. We're going to want to keep it out of the rain though, but it can be used outside as long as it's in a protected environment. We'll go right around here and slip in front of that here.
Now, I know people stock their painted their storefront with this,
Okay.
but they don't wax it, and the sun, the heat from the sun cures it. And it lasts for years.
Okay, so if it's gonna be in a direct sunlight,
Sunlight,
that can cure it, and you
Right.
don't necessarily have to wax it.
Right.
All right,
Concrete you wouldn't want wax.
there we go. That looks fantastic. So I hope you guys enjoyed our little demonstration of how to paint, distress, and wax these Plantation rocking chairs. We are going to do another demo next week, and I believe we're going to try for kitchen cabinets. I know everyone is kind of doing some home improvement projects right now while they are at home, so we're going to go for that one.
I have a fresh PA for that one.
Okay, and this is going to be done per request. If you have any items that you particularly would like to see Beth work on, whether it be a hutch, table, end tables, you name it, send us a message through Facebook, and we will go ahead and do a demo of that for you as long as we can.
And actually, there's a new fluorescent glaze
Okay.
we're going to do
So new glaze.
for the 30th anniversary. The 30th anniversary of the Pearl, she came up with a glaze that
Ooh.
gives it like a pearl finish.
Okay, so for the 30th anniversary, this is special. This is great. So make sure you guys.
I think it became available this month.
So it's brand new.
It's brand new.
That's really good. Make sure you're following the Facebook page and checking back often for updates. If you have any questions, we are here to answer your questions. You can Facebook message, you can do a private message, or you can post it onto one of the videos. We also have all the colors up there, but go ahead and take a look, and we'll see you guys next week.